Good morning. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's Thursday. Can you believe it? It was like yesterday was Monday and now it's Thursday. Oh, God, I'm so glad you're on. Listen, you are on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vicki Helm. I'm so glad you've joined us today. It's brought to you by the Metadime Digital Network. And today is a very important day. We're going to be talking about creating relevance and how that's so important for your business and how that makes your business relevant as well. And if you're new here, we go live Monday through Friday. We share tips, tools, techniques, inspiration, motivation, those things that are going to create thrivability in your life. And today is very important. Relevance does create thrivability in your life. And so we're going to be talking about that right now. And I want to let you know for the first time, I'm starting to make notes. I mean, I keep myself notes here every day and try to look at my notes when I'm talking with you. If you're new here and you're a fan of the show, thank you for being a fan of the show. We love having you on. We are so glad you're with us. And I'm so excited that you're continuing the journey with us. And in our group, which is the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. We have lots of information and shows to go there. But today I want to talk about something that's really important that we seem to kind of be losing in the world. And that's, what's relevance in a time where there's chaos? How does your business become relevant? How do you become essential to everyone? It's Thrivability Thursday. Thank you. Good morning. I'm so glad to see you on. Nice to see you. Good morning. It's Thrivability Thursday. Good morning. It is Dawn Gifford, and I'm so happy to see you. I know that somebody just IM'd me on Facebook right now, and I hope you can hear me okay and everything's all good, but I'm going to go check it right quick. Leave these two things up. And if it's not relevant, so relevance right now is so important. It's so interesting how relevance is being made right now. There's a lot of confusion in the world, and people are like, I need to find some relevance in my life. No, that's not what's happening anymore. And we kind of want to stop trying to find relevance. We want to create relevance in our business. We want to create relevance. Thank you for that. You look and sound great. Oh, thank you so much. It's like when we create relevance right now, this is a time where in order to stand out, you've actually got to be out of your comfort zone. That's the first thing you got to do. There's like 7 things. One is, if you want to create relevance, you have to come out of your comfort zone. And what do I mean by that? Relevance now is very different, vastly different from relevance in the past. Like our path in the future was so laid out. We knew exactly what we needed to do. Everybody was taught that from how many times have you heard it? Go to school, get good grades, get, a good job. There aren't good jobs right now. And right now, all of the jobs are being removed to AI and robotics. So your sense of meaning, your sense of relevance, your sense of purpose is being disintegrated into algorithms, software, AI, and robotics. The human worker has suddenly thinking to themselves, well, how can I be relevant? This is where we're going today, this discussion of how to be relevant. And it means you need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to be willing to go out there and state your case and become relevant in such a way in your gut that you are confident about it. So let's talk about that. How do you create it now? You don't create relevance, you are relevance. That's the whole point. And if you're willing to stick your neck out, you're going to become relevant over time, not overnight, over time. The first thing that you want to do after you step out of your comfort zone is decide who you want to serve. Now, when I say that, decide who you want to serve, is it animals? Is it people? Is it young people, middle-aged people, old people, older people? Who do you want to serve? And I want you to ask why you want to serve them. What relevance do you think you're bringing them? Relevance can be information. It could be a product. It could be a service. It could be anything. But the first thing is step out of your comfort zone. If you're out of a job, you need a business, that's pretty out of your comfort zone. The next thing you want to know is who do you want to serve and why? And if you have that why, the first thing you're going to do after you figure out who you want to serve is you want to go see who's serving them right now. Who is out there serving that client, that group of people right now? And really look at it. And this to me is something, it's like when I look at that, I buy their product, I look at it, I study it, I see what they're doing. I take the time to see what their message is. And so do you. We can't just say, I want to have a business so I can make money. That's not relevance. That's not relevance. Relevance is the thing that's going to give your business traction. If you don't have relevance, you have no traction. You will make a little pile of money and you will be irrelevant overnight. That's really it. Relevance is what gives you traction to grow. Your message in that relevance can't even be developed until you figure out what your competitors are doing. Because in that side of that competitors, you'll find the hole in their boat. And that will become your story. That story is, this is great and this is great. My competitors do really well. And there's also this thing we need to look out for. And here's why. And that now you're starting to become relevant when you understand the why of what you're doing, the why you're doing it, the message you're doing it. So I want to take a moment right now and say, I noticed something this morning. I noticed that this week, one of my very good friends, Scott Stevens, who's here tomorrow with us, and he has a show called Another Perspective. And here's how you know you're becoming relevant. You're becoming relevant when people kind of copy your message or copy your idea and run with it. And I've seen that a couple of times happening to him now. And he's becoming relevant. He's becoming part of the conversation that everybody wants to be a part of. And then you know you're starting to become relevant. You also are becoming relevant when you get trolls. If you get somebody who's throwing stuff at you and saying you suck and you're bad and look at you, you're relevant because people will not pay attention to those who aren't. Full stop. You can gauge your success meter online by those two gauges. People who come to plagiarize your information, like, ooh, I like what you said. I'm writing that down. I'm going to use that. It'll make me look so smart and I'll be so clever. That is when you become relevant. The other place you become relevant is when people are suddenly in your face. And they're like, you suck, or you this. They're not going to do that to somebody who's irrelevant. It has no meaning for them. Do you understand that? This is so important. Hey, Stephen, nice to see you on. I just have to, pop over here and just say hi to Stephen. I haven't seen him for a while. Discover a new comfort zone and put first things first. I always question if I am putting the important things first. When you organize your life around what is truly important, you will find that you are serving the world, making a difference. That's really true. It's so easy, isn't it? Worked outdoors this morning, not swimming. First things first, getting ready for winter. Amen. That is coming, isn't it? So the second thing we want to do is, the first thing we have to step out of our comfort zone. The second thing we do is figure out who to serve. And then the third thing we figure out is who is serving your market right now. Who's doing that? And if you're saying, well, nobody's serving them, great. You have an open market, nobody's touched. And I would still push out and say, you got to find somebody who's at least one other like you out there, one other company like you out there. So then the next thing is you ask, after you find the hole in the boat, is you ask, what does your client want? I mean, if you don't know what they want, you're not going to be relevant. But if you do know what they want, you're going to be front and center and relevant. And that's going to be very, very big. What do they want? And then you have to go a step higher. What's going to make you the expert? You're going to know what they want, but you're also going to know what they need. What they want and what they need. Those are the two questions you're going to ask to create relevance in the world. Just want to say good morning. Good morning. Hey, MJ, you know, I always love having you on the show. I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. Robin says that's such an interesting way to look at that, Vicki. As possible, as people plagiarize your stuff, you become relevant. Yeah, nobody steals stuff that sucks. Nobody plagiarizes stuff that sucks. They only copy people they think are the best. They only copy people they think are doing something really, really good. You don't copy people who suck. So if you're plagiarized, some people are starting to think you're good. You're becoming relevant. Relevance puts one on the list for censorship. Only truthful relevance gets the attention of the something. I wouldn't say that. I think there's truthful relevance that is censored and truthful relevance that isn't. I mean, I know we are on the big we get censored thing, which is another perspective topic, definitely. But I also think that there's a lot of topics that everybody can talk about that makes them relevant, that are mainstream, that makes them really good. But what they don't do is they don't create the relevance first as a part of their business plan. How are we going to create influence and relevance in the audience we want to serve? Because our message is so important. And here's what they want, and here's what they need. Because the want is what they're going to buy. The upsell is the need. They're going to go, ooh, I do need that, and then buy that as well. Then you are fully helping your client. You're not just, oh, here's a partial, I'm helping you. You're fully helping your client when you discuss what they want and what they need and how best to serve them. That is really how you start to create relevance. So this is so important when you study this. You want to study how they are getting that need met right now. How are they getting that want and that need met right now? What's the process they go to purchase it, to learn it, to discover it, to get help with it? You want to know how they're ingesting and consuming the product right now, because you want to see if there's actual consumption. A lot of times people buy things online and they never open it up. They just buy it and then they sit it on the shelf, and it just sits on their digital shelf forever. So if that's the issue, then the issue with being relevant is getting your clients or getting the group of people that you're serving to actually sit down and eat the food that you're serving them, eat the information that they're serving them, so that they can actually consume it and feel better, get more success, achieve more, and do more. And after you get those first things done, it's like everybody wants to create how do I make money really fast? We're going to make a lot of money on this. Well, if you're just out here to make money, you are not relevant. Even if your product is great and wonderful, you aren't relevant until they know you're serving them at the highest level. That's just how the future is going to be. And this is true whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit or a PTA or whatever. In order to be relevant, it's not about just doing something. It's about serving people. And serving people is vastly different. It's vastly different than selling people. I want to sell you into this group. I want to sell you into this product. I want to sell you into this. That selling is important when it becomes relevant. And when it becomes relevant, you become so proud of what you've done because you made it in this service way that selling it becomes easy. It becomes easy because the people you sell to are now selling to other people with you. And they're doing it with love and gratitude and thank you for this, which is a way easier sell than Sunday, a big sale on Sunday. And we're going to move all these products on Sunday. You should be at the big sale. That's to me, that's so outdated. It doesn't work. And the future is about connecting with your community and client continually. So then you can look at the last thing is you can look at, which is really important, is how can you improve? How can you improve their experience? How can you improve everything about buying from you, relating with you, creating the community for? What is it that you're going to bring to the table that is really it's going to outshine because your heart is in that service. And to me, that's when you are working in such a way that no matter what, there can be quality of life because you're happy serving the people that you love, the group that you love, with the message that you love. Relevance is creating love. I want you to talk. Service is creating love. Relevance is creating love. Relevance is when enough people know that you are doing this out of real love, out of authenticity, that, here I am, warts and all, but here's the solution I have for you, and it works. I want to pop over here because you guys are talking a mile a minute, and I want to see what you're saying. The powers that be. Thank you. That's the thing. Relevance works for the end user. That's right. And this is one of the most important things. If your relevance, it works for the end user, that's how you make money. What is it that get this Zig Ziglar quote? Gosh, I wish Barb Tomlin was here because she loves Zig and so do I. But I think it's help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. And this is exactly what Scott's pointing out right here. Relevance works for the end user. That's correct. Relevance works for the end user. And if it does, then you continue to grow your business. Let's see. How best to serve them, provide what they want and need. And you have to know the difference between what they want, what they need, because people buy what they want. They don't buy what they need. They upsell buy what they need. And you have to remember that as you're moving forward. So here, that goes beyond comprehension, buying something and then not consuming, using, or integrating it. Yes, but it happens all the time. But the world is full of good intentions and some days. That is true. The world is full of good intention and some days. So the true social media has taken trying to undermine the successful easier. Online trolling and plagiarism are all over the world to see. All PR is good PR. Yes, that's right. There is no negative PR. Perhaps the content will self-destruct in 24 hours. I don't know who that's from, but that was funny. I really like that. Is that Ross? Let's see. Sunday only. And then you become a stereo outlet salesman woman. Yes, that would be true. Relevance is creating love. Service is creating love. That's right. That's creating love. Let's see. Stephen says your client may want what they think they want, but what they want is not what they need. Yes, this is the thing. Serving is the key, but what you serve must be relevant. Yes, love is always relevant. It always has been. It will be in the future. But he's right. There is a point where if there's not enough people in your little thing that you want to serve, like, hi, I would like to start the association model for basket weavers, because I'm certain there's so many basket weavers in the United States, and it'll make a fortune, and they'll learn this, and they'll get this, and they'll get that. Maybe there's only 100 of you in the world. That you have to have a relevant group of people to serve. There it is. I can always count on Karen. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough people get what they want. And that's really important. I think that's so true. When I taught sales training, I'm not sure who this is, but it could be Ross or it could be Ryan. It's one of our letter guys. When I taught sales training, I instilled 4 priorities: customers, the company, the store, the sales consultant. If they maintain this in order, success will follow. Yes, thank you. I love that. I actually quite like that. The customer, the company, that's, people, profits, planets, and peace. I like that. Donnie says, we're all connecting, moving, and stacking. We are connecting, moving, and stacking firewood, preparing for firewood coming tomorrow. First things first. I don't want to move the firewood, but we have to. Winter is coming. We are the end user of the firewood. Yes, you are the customer of the firewood. It is something you need. I'm getting your story now. I'm getting your relevance to the story. But yes, thank you for sharing that you're getting firewood today and you are the end user. It is what you need. And that is good. It's Ross Arnson. It's one of our R guys. We have a lot of Rons, Rosses, and Ryans and Roberts, and we have a lot of R men here. There are men. I'm looking forward to watching your show today, Ross. I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to catch up on the other ones too, just as soon as I catch up on my day. So relevance, we want to look at it there. Relevance, you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and take some hits because that's what it's going to be. You want to serve a group of people, not a sub-niche market, a group of people. You want to be able to serve them in a way where you're asking, what do they want? What do they need? How are they digesting it right now? How's it coming to them right now? How do they like it? Are they consuming it or are they just buying it and putting it on a shelf? And then how can you improve on their experience? Not just on the product, but the experience they're having. How can you make it more interactive so that they are consuming that product with you? The more they consume of your product, the more they will be involved with you in that way. Now, I want to kind of move on for a second and say relevance is also an attitude. And this is the most important part of it. This is cracking me. Just try and fumble through those F's. The relevance piece here is an attitude. It's an attitude because nobody is going to invite you to become relevant. It's you being willing to stand up and take your message to the world and being willing to do whatever it takes to get that message to the world. Being relevant in that way isn't like there's a point where I had a project about 4 years ago that fell through, but I had written a book and I repurposed the book and put a name on it and finished the book and put it out myself. And some of the people who were in that group knew it was a really relevant project. But the one bad apple in the project got really mad that it was repurposed and sent out. I'm like, it's 4 years later. What have you done? It's 4 years later. Have you written a book? What have you done to create relevance? Because if you don't do something continuously, you become irrelevant because you become forgotten very quickly. There are other people putting out their relevance in the world. And millions of people, billions of people are now on, heck, there's over 2 billion people just on Facebook. I mean, come on, as a country, Facebook is really big. It's such an enormous audience. It's such an enormous city. It's such an enormous country in itself. It's a digital country. But in that digital country, there's 2.2 billion people just on that platform looking for interaction, looking for things that are relevant to them, looking for things that hook them and they're ooh and ah and looking. That's your whole audience there. I mean, you could advertise in New York City, which is a big city, or the biggest city in the world. I don't even know what it is, and it wouldn't be bigger than the city of Facebook. And that includes the city of YouTube. Or the city of, this is a new world. It's an online world, but it's still a world. And it kind of has governance that are, there's governance in Facebook, governance in YouTube, and they don't belong to a country. And that's the issue. It's like they have the power. They aren't a country. They're a business. So can they go ahead and, shut your conversation down? Yes, which is why we have apps now. And so we're moving from this new city into this digital world, as well as this physical world, and having a foot of relevance in each one is probably going to be about what the future is. And so I'm looking at creating relevance long-term. If you put out something and you're like, well, in the past, I used to be this, and in the past, I was on that stage, and this person came to my thing, and I really knew them. We were close, and you think that your past influence is going to suddenly carry you forward without you doing a thing. Not true. I mean, look at Will Smith has a YouTube channel, and his wife has Red Table Talk on Facebook. These are A-list actors, and they understand that this digital society is the future, and they've started going into that digital society right then. So relevance is that you continue. You're not a one-hit wonder. And there are some things that you can create that are relevant even still today. So for me, Success Principles or Stephen Covey or Chicken Soup for the Soul, those books are still relevant. They still bring that in there. You can create products that have evergreen relevance, like Stephen Covey did. Stephen Covey's Success Principles are success principles. They're just that. And Jack Canfield's Success Principles, they're still relevant now, and they'll be relevant way into the future. So how long have you created relevance? Now, if you can remember way back in 2003, smartphones weren't relevant at all. We didn't need them. We had those flip phones that we had to, if you wanted to see, you had to push a button, C-A-T. It was hard to text on. Relevance is something that's being created consistently. So when you look at your business or you look at your life, it doesn't matter how old you are, because on online, age is like not there. There's no age discrimination until you get in companies and brick and mortar buildings. But when you're an online person, you can be 100 and still be making 100,000 a year on your relevant sites. So here's the thing. You're never too old to start creating relevance. You're never too old to stay relevant. You're never too young to become relevant. Relevance now has a completely different line. It is a product and thing that you can create. So that's what I have for you today on today's Coffee Break Show. And I want you to know something. Tomorrow, I got Scott on with me, and we're going to rock and roll and have some fun. Thank you guys for joining me today. Mwah! Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, you can go out and become